Welcome back to the deep dive. We're the show that cuts through those really dense reports to give you the core insights fast. You get the knowledge without the homework. Today, we're digging into the brand new GMTI 2025 report. That's the Global Muslim Travel Index from MasterCard and Crescentrating. And one area really leaped out this year. Okay, let's unpack this. It's accessible travel. But the GMTI 2025 isn't just, ticking a box. It's really zeroing in on neurodivergent individuals and active seniors. Calls it a strategic imperative, actually. Feels like a big shift.
Oh, absolutely. It's significant. And what's key here, I think, is that the report isn't just making a case based on social responsibility, though that's vital, of course. It's really hammering home the economic argument. There's this huge, often kind of hidden market potential that the travel industry maybe only now starting to properly recognize. It's just a much deeper understanding of what real inclusivity means for travel.
Right. So let's start with neurodivergent travelers. Maybe just quickly define that for anyone listening.
Sure. So neurodivergence, it's basically about brains that function, learn, or process information differently from what's considered typical. Think conditions like autism, ADHD, dyslexia, dyspraxia.
Got it. And the report says, what, 10–20% of people globally fall into this category? That's huge.
It's huge, a massive segment. And often their specific needs haven't really been front and center in travel design. And if you look even wider at the disability travel market overall, the WHO figures suggest over 1.3 billion people globally have significant disabilities. Just consider travelers with mobility issues they alone contribute, like $58.2 billion a year. That's incredible.
Wow.
And what's really fascinating is that neurodivergent people, despite potential challenges, maybe sensitivities or anxiety in new places they are traveling, families in the U.S. with neurodevelopmental conditions spent, on average, over $4,200 on trips last year.
So it's not niche at all. It's a dedicated active market.
Exactly. High value, too.
Okay, so there's the economic driver. But what are the actual practical hurdles these travelers face? The report must get into that.
Oh, yeah, it does. It references studies showing for families with neurodiverse kids, about 75% worry about crowds. That's a big one.
Yeah.
And 64% really prioritize finding accommodations that cater to sensory needs.
Sensory needs, like sensitivity to noise or light.
Precisely.
Oh.
And cost, naturally, is often a barrier, too.
Mm-hmm.
But here's where it gets really interesting. The report deliberately shifts the focus. It doesn't just dwell on the challenges. It highlights the unique strengths neurodivergent individuals often bring: creativity, amazing problem-solving skills, attention to detail, resilience.
That's a fantastic point. So the idea is, by supporting these travelers properly, their strengths can actually benefit the whole travel ecosystem.
Exactly. It can make travel more adaptable, more empathetic for everyone, not just for them.
That's powerful. Now, the report mentions something called the Accessible Travel Framework, the ATF. It was in last year's report, too, but this year they're applying it specifically to non-physical disabilities.
That's right. The ATF isn't just theory, it's like a practical guide. Think of it in 4 layers. First, foundational principles, basically. Building in universal design and inclusivity from the absolute start, not as an afterthought.
Okay.
Then, implementation. This is about the practical stuff.
Yeah.
Getting staff trained, engaging with the community, having the right policies.
Makes sense.
The third layer is accessibility components, the tangible things. Accessible physical spaces, yes, but also services, technology, communication tools. And the fourth, which is critical, is looking across all travel stages, from dreaming and planning the trip to the journey itself, the destination experience, and even after they get back. It needs to be seamless.
Right, the whole journey. And to make this less abstract, the report includes a story, doesn't it, about Madame Farah and her son.
Yes, Madame Farah's experience is incredibly insightful. She talks about how tough travel was initially, particularly airports.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, the long lines, sudden loud announcements, all the unfamiliar routines, potential triggers for real anxiety or meltdowns.
So how did she manage?
Proactively, weeks of preparation, breaking down every step of the airport process, using visual aids, social stories, things like that for her son.
Wow, that's a lot of work beforehand.
It is. And while she does see improvements now, some airports have sensory guides, quiet rooms. She stresses how inconsistent it still is. It's not everywhere. It's not standard.
That inconsistency must be frustrating. What about once they're actually on the plane or at the destination? What did she say would help there?
Her insights are really practical. Customizable in-flight entertainment, maybe choosing calming options beforehand. Sensory-friendly items like weighted blankets or noise-canceling headphones.
Ah, things airlines could offer.
Exactly. Also, personalized meals, plain food options for kids with sensory issues or specific diets, maybe designated quieter seating zones on planes. And she mentioned something quite innovative: discrete identification systems, like the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Lanyard.
Oh, yes, I've heard of that. It signals that someone might need a bit more support or understanding.
Precisely, without them having to explain everything constantly. And for destinations, she really favored nature-based places, places with quiet zones, because her son responds so well to less crowded, open spaces.
That makes a lot of sense. Her advice really struck me too. Start small, don't give up, and never stop exposing your child to the world. Powerful.
It really is. And that spirit is reflected in the report's recommendations for making travel more neurodivergent-friendly. Key things include making pre-travel planning easier, using things like the Sunflower Program, or platforms like Autism Travel.
Streamlining the info.
Right. Using tech innovations, AI for custom itineraries, visual schedules, sensory filters on booking sites, apps for real-time navigation to avoid crowds.
So leaning into technology.
Definitely. Plus crucial staff training and certification, like the programs from IBCCES, so frontline staff actually know how to help. And finally, that solid on-the-ground support. Sensory rooms, quiet zones, and maybe even pre-flight practice runs like the Wings for Autism program.
Giving families a chance to acclimatize. And the report highlights places already doing this well.
Yes, both within OIC nations and outside. Malaysia, for example, they have an Equal Treatment Act. KLIA Airport has its Butterfly Effect Initiative, Calm Rooms, Special Care Ambassadors,
That's impressive.
and it goes beyond airports. Legoland Johor is a certified autism center. Sunway Putra Mall has autism shopping days, quieter, dimmer lights. It's quite holistic.
And outside the OIC.
The Netherlands is a strong example, also an Equal Treatment Act. Their public transport is notably accessible. The 9292 Journey Planner helps. They have specific programs, too, like one helping people with intellectual disabilities learn train travel. And the Flying with Autism Foundation offers airport assistance. Schiphol Airport also uses the Sunflower Lanyard actively.
So real practical steps being taken. That's encouraging.
Okay, shifting gears slightly, but still under this accessibility umbrella, the report talks a lot about active senior travelers. Who exactly are we talking about here?
We're talking about folks aged 60 and over. And they are a major force in travel. The report states they made up a third of all travelers in 2024.
A third. Wow. Yeah. And their travel isn't just about kicking back on a beach. The relaxation is important. It's often about fulfilling lifelong ambitions, learning new things, personal growth.
And the numbers back this up, the economic impact.
Oh, massively. The global 50-plus population is set to hit over 2.3 billion by 2035. Within the Muslim world, that 50-plus group could reach 474 million. Economically, their travel spending was around $1.72 trillion last year, predicted to jump to $2.62 trillion by 2030. Trillion, yes. They apparently put over half their discretionary spending towards leisure and travel. Plus, they often have more flexibility. They can travel off-season, take longer trips. They're a dream market, really.
Okay, so a huge, valuable market. What do they actually want when they travel? What are their priorities and maybe their pain points?
The report breaks it down quite clearly. Trip length. Over 70%, like trips around 4 or 6 days long.
A good, solid break.
Yeah. Main reasons for travel are spending time with loved ones, relaxing. About 20% travel for business, too. Activity-wise, shopping is big, 67%. Culinary, travel, and nature outdoors are tied at 56%.
And the challenges.
Health and mobility are obviously key considerations. So accessible facilities are crucial. Easy elevator access, places to sit down, really clear signage, staff who are helpful, and notice if someone needs assistance, ramps, railings, the basics, but done well.
Things that actually make the journey comfortable and stress-free.
Exactly. And they tend to prioritize comfort in their spending. 67% focus budgets on good accommodation and dining.
Makes sense. Now, you mentioned something earlier, a digital gap. What's that about with senior travelers?
Yeah, it's an interesting point the report raises. While digital tools are everywhere, many seniors still prefer using cash or cards over, say, payment apps or fully digital booking systems.
So the tech adoption isn't universal for this group.
Not entirely, or at least the preference isn't always there. It tells the industry, innovate, yes, but don't leave behind the human touch or the analog options. Offer choice. That's key.
Right, don't assume everyone wants an app for everything. So given all that, what does the report recommend for designing travel experiences specifically for seniors?
It focuses on several areas. First, inclusive stays. Think hotels offering ground floor rooms easily, elevators with big buttons, grab bars and bathrooms, non-slip floors, wider corridors. maybe even mobility aid rentals,
Yeah.
and definitely staff trained to be age sensitive.
Practical design choices.
Very practical. Second, bridging that digital gap. Simpler online platforms, maybe. Definitely easy access to live customer support, real people, printable documents, and human help available on the ground, plus those analog booking options.
So multiple ways to interact.
Exactly. Third, wellness and leisure. Curated activities blending health, relaxation, social time, gentle fitness, good food options, guided walks, maybe even things like on-site health checks.
Tailored activities.
Right. And fourth, enhanced transport accessibility. Airports need top-notch wheelchair help, priority boarding, super clear signage, easy check-in processes, and quiet rooms like Heathrow and Changi already offer. And for cruises, which are popular, accessible cabins and onboard medical support are vital.
It really sounds like a holistic view of their needs from start to finish.
That's the goal: comfort, ease, and dignity throughout the journey.
And all this ties into a new index in the GMTI report, right? The Muslim-Friendly Accessible Travel Destinations Sub-Index.
Yes, that's new this year. It's designed to specifically measure and promote destinations that are welcoming, not just in a faith-friendly sense, but also for travelers with physical challenges, neurodivergent travelers, seniors, and multi-generational families. It broadens the definition.
That feels important. And the opportunity there must be huge.
Immense. The report states that despite over 1 billion people globally living with a disability, only about 9% of tourism destinations worldwide have really comprehensive accessibility solutions in place. 9%.
That's shockingly low.
It is. So if we connect this to the bigger picture, there's just enormous potential for growth by becoming genuinely inclusive across that whole spectrum of needs. It's a massive untapped market.
Who's doing well according to this new index? Any standouts?
Among non-OIC destinations, Hong Kong leads with a score of 84, followed closely by Singapore at 83, then Taiwan at 75. You can see how their advanced city infrastructure and high service levels contribute there.
Okay, major Asian hubs.
Right. And some European spots score well too. Switzerland, 76, the UK, 73, Portugal, 73, often reflecting strong accessibility legislation.
And within the OIC, how do they fare on this specific accessibility measure?
Well, OIC destinations naturally score high on the Muslim-friendly aspects, but the report suggests there's definitely room to grow in the advanced accessibility infrastructure side of things. Qatar scores highest among OIC nations at 75, then Malaysia at 74, the Maldives at 71. These places have clearly made investments.
So some are moving forward.
Yes, but scores tend to be lower in regions like Central Asia and North Africa. It points to a clear need for development in physical infrastructure, yes, but also staff training, and crucially, just provided clear, accessible information for travelers with diverse needs. Lots of potential there.
So what does this all mean? When we boil it down, what's the big takeaway from this focus in the GMTI 2025 report?
I think the core message is that the travel industry is maturing. It's moving beyond a surface-level understanding of accessibility.
Right.
It's recognizing the depth and diversity of traveler needs for neurodivergent people, for seniors, for families. It sees that inclusivity isn't just the right thing to do, it's smart business. It opens up markets, and frankly, it enriches the travel experience for everyone. It's about building those bridges, truly.
Making travel genuinely for all.
Exactly. And this raises an important question, perhaps something for you, the listener, to think about. How might really digging into the specific needs of neurodivergent and senior travelers do more than just open niche markets? Could it actually change the whole design philosophy of travel? Imagine if things like sensory-friendly design or simpler digital tools or more human-centric support became the norm. Wouldn't that actually benefit all of us when we travel, regardless of our specific situation? What new kinds of travel experiences, maybe accessible adventures or inclusive serenity, could emerge from this deeper focus? Could really understanding these needs unlock innovations that make exploring the world better, easier, and more meaningful for every single person?